Hello everyone, and welcome to the History of Babylon channel. Today, we're diving into a question that might seem a bit counterintuitive. Why did a landlocked empire like Babylon need the sea? It's a fascinating story of ambition, trade, and the constant quest for power. When we think of Babylon, we picture the magnificent Ishtar Gate, the legendary Hanging Gardens, and a sprawling city in the heart of Mesopotamia, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. These rivers were the lifeblood of the empire, providing water for agriculture and serving as crucial highways for local trade. But for the great kings of Babylon, local was never enough. Their ambition was global, or at least as global as the known world was back then. To truly become a superpower, Babylon needed to control the long-distance trade routes. While the rivers were great, they had their limits. The real wealth, the exotic goods, the sheer volume of trade, all flowed through the sea lanes. The Persian Gulf, which we might call the Arabian Gulf today, was the gateway to the wider world. It connected Mesopotamia to distant and mysterious lands, like Dilmun, which is modern-day Bahrain, Magan, likely Oman, and even the far-off Meluha, in the Indus Valley, what is now Pakistan and India. These weren't just names on a map, they were treasure troves. From the Indus Valley came carnelian beads, precious woods, and ivory. From Oman came copper, a vital resource for making bronze tools and weapons. Dilmun was a major trading hub, a sort of ancient Singapore or Dubai, where goods from all over were bought and sold. Access to these goods wasn't just about luxury. It was a matter of national security and economic stability. Controlling this trade meant controlling the supply of essential raw materials and collecting taxes and tariffs from every merchant ship that passed through. The early Babylonians, under rulers like Hammurabi, understood this well. While they didn't have a massive navy in the way we might think of it today, they focused on controlling the southern part of Mesopotamia, securing access to the head of the Persian Gulf. By controlling cities like Ur and Larsa, they effectively held the keys to this maritime gateway. Cuneiform tablets from this period are filled with records of merchants organizing sea expeditions, detailing cargoes of grain and textiles heading south, and returning with copper, stone, and other foreign treasures. This maritime connection transformed Babylon's economy. It was no longer just a regional agricultural power. It became a center for international commerce, a cosmopolitan hub where goods, ideas, and people from different cultures met. The wealth generated from this sea trade funded massive construction projects, supported a powerful army, and allowed the Babylonian culture to flourish and spread its influence far and wide. But the desire for sea access really reached its peak during the Neo-Babylonian Empire, especially under the famous king Nebuchadnezzar II. He wasn't just content with access, he wanted dominance. His military campaigns weren't only about conquering land, they were strategic moves to secure trade routes all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. Why? Because the Mediterranean was the other great highway of ancient commerce, connecting Mesopotamia to Egypt, the Levant, Anatolia, and Greece. By conquering the coastal cities of Phoenicia, like Tyre and Sidon, Nebuchadnezzar gained control over their legendary fleets and their extensive trade networks. These Phoenician sailors were the masters of the Mediterranean. With them under Babylonian control, the empire now had access to two major seas, the Persian Gulf in the east and the Mediterranean in the west. This effectively gave Babylon control over the entire east-west trade axis of the ancient Near East. Imagine the flow of goods. Spices, incense, and gems from the east would travel through the Persian Gulf, up the Euphrates to Babylon, and then continue overland to the Mediterranean coast, where they would be shipped to eager markets in the west. In the other direction, goods like timber, wine, olive oil, and silver from the Mediterranean region would make the reverse journey. Babylon sat right in the middle of it all, acting as the ultimate middleman, growing incredibly wealthy and powerful in the process. This control of the sea wasn't just about economics. It was a massive statement of power. It projected Babylonian influence across the known world. It meant that no rival power, be it Egypt or the emerging kingdoms in Anatolia, could easily challenge Babylon's economic dominance. This strategy was brilliant. Instead of just being a land-based empire, vulnerable to droughts or shifts in river courses, Babylon diversified its power base by tapping into the boundless potential of the sea. So, while Babylon itself was not a coastal city, the sea was absolutely essential to its existence as an empire. It was the source of its wealth, the key to its strategic power, and the channel through which it connected with and influenced the wider world. The story of Babylon's relationship with the sea is a perfect example of how geography and ambition can shape the course of history. The great kings of Babylon knew that to truly rule the land, you had to, in some way, also master the sea. Thanks for joining us on this historical journey today. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time on the History of Babylon channel.